Here we have Michael Hageman with us, who's going to give us some sneak preview of what our Galatians series is all about. Michael, are you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you see us and hear us?
Yes, I can.
And we're getting excited about the series that's coming forward for the next 6 weeks on Galatians, and we hear that this is something that excites you tremendously too, and we'd like to hear from you on what is your passion around Galatians. And what can you tell us about what we can look forward to?
Well, it's, for me, I'm really excited that you're excited about Galatians too, because I spent 9 years of my life researching and writing on this book as part of both a master's thesis and a doctoral thesis. So I kind of ate, slept, and breathed this book for a very, very long time. So I'm excited that you are, as a group, are interested in this as well. So there are a number of things that I think right away to have to tackle to enter into the world of the book of Galatians. There is so much going on in this book that somebody reading it for the first time might, step back, scratch his head or her head and say, I really don't get what this is all about. I don't get what the argument's about. And sometimes we might feel like we've been invited over to a friend's house and we get there to dinner and there's kind of an icy silence for a while, and then all of a sudden some conflict that's been brewing for a while starts to erupt, and everybody at the table starts yelling at each other, and nobody's listening to somebody else, and you feel that really, really awkward sense like, I shouldn't be here. What is this argument all about? I'm not part of this family. This argument's been going on for a long time, and I've got no idea what's going on. So reading the book of Galatians might feel a little bit like that at first, because so long ago, this letter is almost 2,000 years old, and what's awkward about it is that you get the sense that there are Christians fighting with other Christians, and that gets a little bit awkward. We're thinking, wait, shouldn't we all be getting along here? But at the heart of it are some ways of dealing with conflict and addressing conflict in the early church that we need to pay attention to today.
That family conflict that's been going on around the dinner table, what's so important about it for us?
Well, at the heart of the conflict is the nature of who's in and who's out. That's a big thing. In the early church, they had these decisions to make about who actually fits, who's a Christian and who's not a Christian, or who's really doing this thing right. And the conflict there for the early Christians was, how Jewish do we need to be? And that was at first because the Christian movement starts among the Jewish people, and as it spreads out into the world, more and more people are interested and excited and moved and become followers of Jesus. But some of the early Christians, the first ones around, saying, wait a minute, all of you people need to be Jews first before you become Christians. Before you become followers of Jesus, real, true followers of Jesus. And in the midst of this argument, Paul, apostle, says, you know what, if this is what the fight, you're getting into this fight about this, then you have no idea what the gospel is all about. And so at that point, it's again, what Paul is fighting against in this letter is anything that separates people in the family, separation of the family of faith, walls that get built up, and he comes down to it. He says, look at you're talking about the levels of race, the layers of gender here, and social economic status. These are all things that we're facing right now in our church today. Issues of race, gender, and social economic status are all being dealt with in this letter. And if we read it too quickly or too easily, we might miss the fact that there's some radical stuff going on here.